Welcome to the Nightly 5 podcast with Ben O'Shea.
Harley Reid on full show, unbelievable!
The AFL might be a national competition, but that doesn't mean fans in the sports heartland of Melbourne give a stuff about what happens to the two teams from WA. But that has all changed this year, and it's because of one player, Harley Reid. Selected by West Coast with the first pick in the last AFL draft, Reid has quickly emerged as one of the most exciting players in the game. Not only has he single-handedly galvanised an Eagles fan base that has become moribund after years of failure, he's made West Coast games must-see TV on the East Coast. That's unprecedented, which is why leading AFL journalist Mark Robinson has said today that Harley Reid is the best first-year player we've ever seen in the modern era. He's an unbackable favourite to win the Rising Star Award this season, and at 19 years old has the footy world at his feet. So what price would you put on the Harley Reid brand? Here to answer that question is celebrity manager and PR mastermind, the one and only Max Markson. Max, thanks for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you very much.
And so when we're talking about Harley Reid, he's burst onto the scene with so much excitement. You know, it's reminiscent of a Buddy Franklin or some of these other players from the past who have really grabbed the sport by the scruff of the neck and forced everybody to pay attention to them. What do you think is the value of Harley Reid as a brand, as a commodity to sports brands and other people that might look to him as an ambassador?
Look, at the age of 19, he's worth $10 million easily. As the years go past, he'll just keep on earning money. And it's not just on the field, but he'll have so much commercial spread, TV commercials. And I just got this list of things I think he could do. That's just off the top of my head. There'll be a car company will want to use him, and maybe it'll be a dealership which he'll actually be able to get to and start his career off with that. There'll be food companies, whether it's Woolworths or Coles or something like that. He'll have multi-year deals on these sort of things. And exercise, clothing, boots, it goes on and on. I can even see Channel 7 signing him up and getting him as doing columns and things like that. It's just worth so much money to him.
It does feel like the sky's the limit for Harley at the moment. Over the years, have you seen things change in terms of, the opportunities given to professional sports stars, the types of products that they're endorsing, and the money that can be made?
Look, I think it used to be just a deal by deal, but nowadays it's long-term products and it's long-term relationships with 5 or 6 companies, and that's the way it goes. It's the way of the future. People want to be with somebody that was going to be with them for many years to come.
And these types of opportunities, these types of relationships are not always without risk. You've got a case in America, Tom Brady, the NFL greatest of all time, the GOAT. He got into bed with a crypto company that went belly up and cost him personally millions of dollars and many other people who invested in it. Is there a risk if you're Harley Reid that you jump into bed with the wrong brand? You start a relationship that ultimately ends up hurting his own brand?
Look, there might be mistakes made, but along the way, there's you go with bigger companies which are more reputable companies, and that's the way you do it. And for him, he can do whatever he wants. I mean, if it's a telephone company, you want to go with a Telstra or an Optus. If it's a bank, there's another. You go with major companies. You might have a mining ambassadorship. You just don't know what it's going to be and what it's going to be for him. And it's 5-year deals. It's long-term relationships with major companies.
And so for someone like you who manages celebrities, how fickle is the sports world? Because it's so dependent on on-field performance. If you have a bad season or if you get a catastrophic injury, which we wouldn't wish on anybody, it can all be over very quickly. Is that something that, from your perspective, representing these types of clients, it factors into your decision-making?
Yeah, it does, but you can't control if they're going to get an injury or if something's going to go wrong for them. But if it's a relationship that is a good relationship with someone, then they'll be with you that whole time. So even if it's an injury, you'll survive through it and you'll become an ambassador for them afterwards.
One thing that we're already talking about in this first season for Harley Reid is the pressure on the kid, because he's come to a club in West Coast who've been terrible for years, and he's seen as their shining hope, lead them out of the darkness, and the pressure that will put on a 19-year-old. When you're talking about some big sort of long-term relationships with huge companies, do you think that adds pressure?
I'm sure it adds pressure, but I mean, it's part of the game. He's become a star, and he'll just take it the way, he'll go up and down and up and down. I mean, it happens to everybody. But if you're respectful of, and your major concern is your sport, then what will be winning it all the way through. Your sport commitment.
Yep, I think that's right. Good advice for Harley Reid indeed. And it'll be fascinating to watch how his career plays out over, conceivably, another 10 years to come, and many, many millions of dollars in his bank account. Thank you very much for your insights, celebrity manager and PR guru Max Markson. Always great to chat to you.
My pleasure.